Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and hello if you are new. Today I'm going to be doing a requested video, and that is how I meal plan and stay organized. If you're new to my channel, we do a bi-weekly grocery shopping trip. So every 2 weeks I go and do a bulk trip, and then every week I will go and pick up fresh produce. So that's just what works best for us, but feel free to adjust with whatever way is going to work better for you. Some people going every week works best. Others like to just go and do a bulk trip once a month. So the first thing that I do is I sit down with my whiteboard. Now I used to use a calendar, but I found there were days where I had a meal planned and nobody was really in the mood for that meal. So the whiteboard works out best for us because I can kind of pick and choose within a couple of days what I'm wanting to make. So I have my whiteboard here. I have a few meals that we carried over from the last 2 weeks because we ended up having more leftovers than I anticipated. Sometimes that happens and I'm completely okay with it because it means less that I've got to figure out later. So I'm going to go ahead and take these meals and carry them over to my piece of paper here that I have labeled 1 through 14 because we do a 2-week grocery trip. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy everything over. And then I am going to cross them out because I don't have to put anything on the other side for my shopping list because I already have all this stuff in my pantry. So I do know for the hot dogs, we ran out of fries. So I'm going to go ahead and put fries on the other side of this paper just because I know that's something I do need. But for the other 3 meals, I don't need anything. So what I like to do is use different colors. So red is what is going to be carried over from the previous week. And as you can see, chicken alfredo has kind of been on our board for a while. So I know that these meals are going to probably be meals I need to avoid for a little while because we're getting burnt out on them. So if I notice like the chicken alfredo, I'm not going to add that to my next 2 weeks because we're just not feeling it. So that's why I just like to color code. It just gives me an idea of what we're kind of avoiding. I've got 2 other colors here. Purple is going to be my current 2 weeks, and then this I'm going to show you what I'm going to use that for when we get to that point, but color coding really works for me. You'll just have to figure out what works best for you. The next step in my process is to dive into my deep freezer. I am going to go ahead and take the same paper that I've been writing my meals on, and I am going to put on here how many pounds of hamburger I have in there, how many bags of chicken, so on and so forth, so that way I can meal plan around what's still in my freezer. Now if you don't have a stash of meat and you want to start building that up, what you're wanting to do is look for sale meat. So the meat that is discounted because it needs to be sold in a couple of days, or just the meat that happens to be on sale that week. Put a little money aside in your budget to buy extra meat or extra canned goods. So once I have an idea of how much meat I have in my freezer, I'm also taking a look at my vegetables and my fruit. Right now my fruit is kind of getting low. How much meat I have in the freezer, I'm going to take my list to my computer and start looking at ads for local grocery stores in my area to see what meat is discounted this week, so that way I can kind of meal plan around this and what's on sale. So I primarily shop at Aldi, Sam's Club, and Walmart, but there are a few other grocery stores that I do check because sometimes their deals are a little bit better. But right now, looking at Aldi, there's some produce on sale, so I'm going to try to work my way around the produce that is on sale. The meat for this week, it's kind of there's some pork chops, that like the thick pork chops that are on sale, but not really a price that I would pay, and chicken thighs are on sale, so I might work my way around that. I am going to grab some shrimp and just basically meal planning around what they're giving me this week. I have my meal plan all done, and I'll go over that with you in just a second. But now that this is completed and I've got everything that I need for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on this list, plus a few other things that, you know, I need because we've ran out of, I am going to go ahead and go through my cabinets. So what I'm looking for in my cabinets is just things that are coming near expiration date so I can use that up. Anything that I use a lot of or I'm seeing, you know, I need to replenish, that sort of thing. One of the things that I did find in my cabinet is this wing sauce. We have not used it yet. It expires this summer, so I meal planned around this. I'll be marinating chicken in that. I've got plenty of peanut butter. I'm getting low on my canned vegetables, so I'll probably grab some more there. Up here is just kind of like my overflow of extras. So pumpkin puree for when I bake. I've got fish fry in here. Future Sasha popping in here. I just really quickly wanted to say, when you're organizing your pantry, make sure you're putting the stuff that's going to expire first towards the front, so that's the stuff you grab first, and the new stuff that you're putting in your pantry you're putting towards the back, so you're not wasting anything. Extra syrup, extra seasonings because I knew I was getting low on those seasonings, just that sort of stuff. And then got my pasta dishes, chicken broth, and then this is just my Keurig stuff. And the last place we check is the refrigerator. Now, what I'm doing in here is just the same thing that I did in my cabinets. I'm going through looking for anything that we're getting low on, our condiments, butter, milk, eggs, looking to see if anything's going to expire that we need to replace. One of the things I need to check is soy sauce, which I don't have any more soy sauce, or Worcestershire sauce, which are staples for me. So I'm gonna have to put those on my list. And while I'm doing this, I take advantage of an empty fridge and clean it out. So I like to use this Method all-purpose cleaner, but feel free to use whatever you want. I just go ahead and kind of move things around, wipe everything down, and I do this every 2 weeks. Because lots of spills happen with kids. Take out those drawers. Get underneath. I'm going to finish cleaning this fridge and then I'll be right back with you to show you my meal plan and how I kind of wrap this process up. So now I'm going to take my purple marker here, just because it's the darker color, and I am going to write down everything that I have on this list. And like I said before, I do cross everything out, write it down, move on to the next meal, cross it out, and just make sure I'm putting everything on this side so I'm not forgetting any ingredients. And then I'll go through and kind of mark how much of each I want to buy. We're gonna do sausage and peppers, and I'm gonna show you guys how I make my sausage and pepper, but we use a chicken artichoke garlic sausage and it is really good. We get it from Sam's Club. We're also gonna have nachos, but I am no longer going to, I'm gonna eat mine a different way, and I'll show you guys how I eat mine when I do my weekly meals video. So those videos are coming back as well. You'll see all of these meals prepared. We've got Greek chicken on here, and we're gonna have Brussels sprouts and carrots and potatoes with that. I'm gonna make a honey chicken thigh. Then we're gonna do a really simple night because I do like to add those in, and that's just spaghetti and garlic bread. I've also got chili on here, chicken pot pie, which is not my recipe, so I cannot share that with you. And the last thing that I have on here is what I'm calling Asian kick chicken, and that is just what the marinade is called. So that's why I'm calling it that. Otherwise, I would come up with my own name. Once I taste it, I'll figure out what to call it. But for now, we're calling it Asian kick chicken. And then on my list, I have 2 days here where I always make 2 of my days, at least once a week, we'll have a leftover day. So we'll consume whatever leftovers are in the fridge, or it's kind of like an everybody fends for themselves day if we don't happen to have leftovers. It just makes things easier. I always plan for 2 days out of the 2 weeks to be for leftovers or whatever the family is feeling. Technically, I shop for 12 days, leaving the 2 days empty for leftovers, just so that way we are not having any waste. The one thing that I do go through and do is I like to put little symbols letting me know what meals I need to use up first. Because they have the produce in them. So I'm going to put a circle next to everything that I need to cook first. So the sausage and peppers, because I don't want the peppers to go bad. The nachos, because I have a lot of produce going into that. The other thing that I should cook up pretty quickly is chili and the chicken pot pie, because those both also have produce in them. And then I like to go through and kind of put a little star next to anything I typically will get carryover from for leftovers so I can get an idea of what I'm gonna have. Hot dogs we usually have leftovers for. We don't have hot dogs often, but the kids were asking for chili dogs, so I do have those on the list. Every once in a while, chicken alfredo and chicken roll-ups. So it looks like I've got quite a few of our leftover meals. And sometimes chicken pot pie too will carry over, and that could technically be like a lunch for somebody. So I know I'm gonna have extras for those meals, but that's just kind of how I organize my board to give me an idea of what is going on in my world, so I'm not forgetting anything. That's how I meal plan, guys. For 2 weeks, I will do weekly meal vlogs so you can see these meals come to life, and I will do grocery hauls so you can kind of see what I spent and everything that I ended up getting. So hopefully that helps. And if you have any questions or any further requests for this topic, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But I'm going to go ahead and clean up my house real quick, grab a shower, and get to the grocery store. All right, bye guys.